For the longest time, the Omni King, Zen'oh, held the title as the head of the table in the Dragon Ball verse for being the strongest, most destructive character in Dragon Ball. Not even the likes of Goku, Beerus or Whis, and perhaps even the Grand Priest can contend with the Omni King for that title. However, one has come into existence in Dragon Ball Daima that may challenge that notion. In Dragon Ball Daima, the Super Majin RYMUS has been introduced, and it has been stated that he created the universes that make up the multiverse. Let me know where you think the likes of the Omni King, RYMUS, Zalama and the Grand Priest may scale now after we know more about the Demon Realm in Dragon Ball Daima. I will cover that in a different video in terms of destructive capacity, etc. This video is really about who is the strongest out of RYMUS and Zen'oh. The point I'm trying to make is, at the end of Z, we only had the God of Creation, Shin, the Supreme Kai, who all we knew was that he was the most elite god in the universe. Could he have created the universe? People were speculating that. Obviously we know a lot more now, and that he is one side of the coin to the God of Destruction, and that they are both assigned roles. They're not born into that role, even though all of the Supreme Kai roles do seem to go to Glins, or core people as we used to call them. The God of Destruction seems to be mortals put in those roles, and maybe even some demons have took up those roles as well in the Dragon Ball verse. Now the Dragon Ball world has expanded exponentially in Dragon Ball Super and onwards, and has continued expanding even further. The new lore introductions that were dumped on us in episode 10 of Dragon Ball Daima may have just upscaled Dragon Ball quite significantly. Comic fans, you better watch out. But the theory is that the Omni King Zen'oh is the Omni Destroyer, and RYMUS is now seen by many, at least in terms of the theories that I'm seeing, as the Omni Creator. So we know that RYMUS creates universes, we know that Zen'oh can erase universes, but who is technically the strongest? Now we are still talking with RYMUS in terms of a lot of conjecture, but as you've seen with the thumbnail, I believe there is, quite frankly, an obvious reason why, based on current information, and as I said, we're talking with conjecture about RYMUS, that the Omni King is still the strongest, based on a lot of power scaling principles. Now, in terms of being a creator, all we know is that RYMUS created these universes. We don't know the process he underwent to create these universes. Let's just look at the demon Marba who's creating Majin Buu. Initially we believe that Majin Buu might have actually been a concept of evil, which would be quite high in terms of power scaling methodology, but now we know that Marba created him through a process of mixing lots of, I assume, chemicals together that eventually formed Majin Buu. Did RYMUS create the universes in an instant, as we see Zen'oh erase a universe in an instant, or was it a process? Now I know there's a lot of power scaling websites when talking about destructive capacity, and they often put forward the idea that being able to create something is equal to being able to destroy something. I heavily disagree with that notion, even though I wouldn't say it doesn't mean a character cannot achieve that on all accounts. It's very nuanced. For simplicity's sake, let's say Revolution built a wall, and it took him a day to put all the bricks and cement together to build that wall. Does that all of a sudden make Revolution wall level? No, it doesn't, because it's unlikely me as a regular human being would then be able to go and punch that wall down. Obviously, fictional characters have a lot of superpowers and magic, so it doesn't necessarily apply to everything, but that is the caveat I want to stick in there, because it does have some grounding in this particular argument. So with this, we're going to have to hypothetically assume that RYMUS can create a universe in the blink of an eye, because he would basically have to compete with Zen'oh, who can erase a universe in the blink of an eye. As we saw in the Tournament of Power, he was literally erasing universes from a completely different realm. He didn't even have to be in the universes to erase the universes. And not just those universes, we've arguably got universe busters in those universes that reside within those universes. He's taken out gods of destructions along with those universes. The Omni King's ridiculously powerful, and he doesn't even try when he actually erases these things. Of course, he has a much better feat than just erasing a universe, which came in the Future Trunks arc, but obviously we know RYMUS didn't just build one universe, he's built all of the universes. And we know that at one point there were 18 universes in total, at least in terms of the anime. It's not really talked about in the manga, so maybe it doesn't exist in the manga, even though I feel like it probably will prop up at some point. But if we are to assume that creating is the same as being able to destroy something in terms of destructive capacity, then RYMUS would have needed to create this multiverse all in one go to match the Omni King's feat in the Future Trunks arc. And even then, it might not even match it. I'll get to that in just a moment. So in the Future Trunks arc, we saw the Omni King basically wipe out the future universe, or I guess you call it Omniverse, simply by not only wiping out the 12 universes, but ultimately his own home realm where his mansion resides, which is likely something that is spatially a lot bigger than the multiverse itself. The Omni King's mansion resides on some sort of jellyfish-like creature that floats throughout this verse that you could even argue is hyperverse level in spatiality. Ultimately, there is likely a lot of dimensional transcendentalism going on, especially with those universe orbs on top of those pillars. I don't think it is size apparent or relevant to what the actual sizes are, but it's likely that realm is huge, and I think there's a lot of expansion that could be done in that realm. We don't know fully where it is, but I doubt it's in the demon realm at this point, simply because it takes Whis a long time to get there, and even Shin used to use his Kai to get there, and we know that Shin doesn't really go to the demon realm and can't get in the demon realm with his Kai. The main point I'm trying to make is the Omni King wiped out far more than just the multiverse. He wiped out everything. If he didn't, then he would have no need to just be flying throughout that white page looking space that we see Goku go and pick him up in. He could just go back to his mansion. He's capable of instant teleportation, so why wouldn't he just go back to his mansion, or why wouldn't the Grand Priest just come and pick him up? He doesn't. He comes to the present timeline because he's wiped everything out. Absolutely everything. Nothing remains there anymore. It is a greater feat than even RYMUS creating the multiverse, even if it was all 18 universes, unless RYMUS also created Zen'oh's realm as well, which, like I said at the beginning of the video, there's still a lot of conjecture here. We don't know simply, but that will take us into the lore of the verse, and we can start looking at how these characters are described. Obviously, we know that RYMUS is from the demon realm. He is a Majin. We know that the demon realm existed before the universes, so it's a realm that predated the current universes. And the important part is that RYMUS wasn't stated, at least not yet, to have created the demon realm, and we know that the Demon King at that time was able to order RYMUS to do something, suggesting to me that RYMUS might not actually have been the strongest in the demon realm at that time. So I guess you can say the demon realm has fell a long way since then, if the characters were really that powerful. But RYMUS was ordered to create the universes to expand the demon realm, so it is within his capabilities to create all these extra verses. But once again, was it a process or was it instant? I guess we'll have to wait to find out. But the question I guess we need answering is, was the demon realm the only realm? We know there's 3 different demon realms, but was there something else where maybe the Omni King and the angels resided? Now, in the anime of Dragon Ball Super, Whis clearly states that there is just nobody above the Omni King. However, the manga of Dragon Ball Super doesn't quite state that. They just regularly regurgitate the fact that he is the ruler of all 12 universes. Obviously, the Supreme Kai Shin in Daima has stated that there is nobody above RYMUS in authority in the universe. So obviously that would contradict each other unless they are both equally the highest authority in the universe, which would support the theory that Zen'oh is the ultimate god of destruction and RYMUS is the ultimate god of creation of the multiverse. Could RYMUS have created the Omni King and the angels in the first place? I do see it as unlikely based on the information we currently have, simply because we know the Majins all moved to the universes and some even live near RYMUS now, whereas the Omni King and the angels are from what is often referred to as the Angel Realm or the Omni King's realm, which seems to be way beyond the universe and multiverse itself. As I said earlier, likely a hyperverse. After all, in terms of dimensionality, to create 3-4 dimensional space-times, you would need a high dimensional space to basically place them in, which could even allude to higher temporal dimensionalities in the Dragon Ball continuities. But I would just like to allude back to the fact that it is stated that RYMUS is the highest authority, but that doesn't necessarily mean strongest, whereas with Zen'oh we know that he can literally just wipe out the universes and all of its inhabitants, and arguably did so in the Future Trunks arc. So maybe it's already possible he's already defeated RYMUS before, obviously off screen. But essentially, just to get RYMUS at the Omni King's levels in terms of feats, we have to assume that creating is equal to that of destruction, which I don't particularly think it is. And then we would also have to assume that RYMUS has perhaps created Omni Kings to give him that power in the first place, which we don't have the information for, at least not yet. Whereas the Omni King has proven that he can destroy more than just the multiverse that RYMUS has created. He can destroy more than that, and we'd also have to assume that RYMUS created all of these universes, if not multiverse, in the snap of a finger to match the speed and distance that the Omni King's Erasure technique can have. But ultimately, even if he could create all of these things in an instant, it's not particularly a technique that's useful for fighting, whereas Erasure pretty much ends a fight in one shot, unless the opponent can resist it somehow. Maybe RYMUS has some resistances, let me know down in the comment section. But I think what I'm taking away from this is the Demon King that ordered RYMUS to create the universe in the first place could be incredibly strong. Obviously they would have had the third eye at that time, but who created the demon realm? Because it's unlikely that it was the Super Majin RYMUS that created that. So it's likely we have air rockets that go even further beyond the Omni King, Zen'oh, and Super Majin RYMUS. I know a lot of people like to say it's the Toribot character itself, or the avatar, which is an idea and concept that I've talked about on this channel before, and I absolutely love. Anyway guys, for me right now, Zen'oh has the feats, he has the lore, unless more information that comes out that says otherwise. That's my current answer for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Lots of videos coming. Diamond's starting to get good. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, let's go. And Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Wait, what did I say? Dragon Ball Super is returning soon. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Smash a like on the video. All likes truly help the channel. Until next time, Ad Astra.